Okay, we're good to go.
Go, Frank, go.
All right. Good evening and welcome to the July 20th meeting of Scituate Conservation Commission. This just a couple of quick things to read. This meeting is being held virtual as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Scituate in accordance with that open meetings law. Number two, the town of Scituate Conservation Commission is committed to providing environment of respect during our meetings. We ask all members to interact in a polite manner, even when there's disagreement. We value the participation of our community and want all participants, including marginalized and minoritized communities, to feel welcome and respected. And we ask that our committee members and all that participate to commit to these standards and to support and respect our community. In addition to that, I hope that folks would be cognizant that there's a number of hearings in the evening. We want to hear your input, but we appreciate it if it's been said that it doesn't need to be repeated, and also to try to keep the comments concise and as condensed as possible so that we can get information from all that are interested. So that said, we have an agenda. Can I get a motion to accept that agenda?
I make a motion, we accept the agenda as written.
That's Penny. Have a second.
Where's Brendan?
I'll second it.
That's from Robbie. All in favor, Brendan?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. Great. Jen, I just took a text from Steve Bjorklund saying he can't get on.
Well,
Zoom.
it's because he's in now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Just sorry for the delay. We had a little hiccup connecting everybody, but we are here. So the first one is the North Scituate septic expansion. I believe we've opened that one.
No,
No,
we
we
need to open
haven't.
it.
Okay. So on July 20th at 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing on the Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, for notice intent filed by the Town of Scituate for the expansion of the sewer connection in North Scituate within the buffer to wetlands resources and located from the intersection of Branch Street northward along Country Way. Abutters and interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posted on the website. And that was by our own Sean McCarthy. So who do we have presenting this evening?
Dan Scott with Woodard and Curran, along with LEC and Kendra Robinson from Woodard and Curran as well.
Good evening. Whoever wants to open or start.
Sure. One question I sent over a figure earlier is, does anyone have that available? I can also share it on my screen if that's an option.
I was hoping I was sharing that. Is that not what people see?
Yes, Jen. That's
Okay.
the exhibit. Yep.
Thank you, Sean.
One thing that's come up is I believe Nate Goskarian and Kendra Robinson are having mute and camera issues.
Yep.
Looks like that's been resolved for Kendra. Nate, give us a thumbs
There
up.
we go.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. So I'm the project manager on this project. Kendra is a project engineer, and Nate is a wetland scientist, and he's been helping with the compilation of the permit. So our project is a sewer expansion project. It's a very exciting project for the town. They're looking to extend the sewers from all the way to the center, from the center of the town, all the way up to the North Scituate area by Gannett and Country Road. The project includes 6,000 linear feet of low pressure and gravity sewer that's going to service the project area. And then it's going to be that sewage that's collected is going to go to a pump station, which is going to convey the sewage from Gannett Road and Countryway down near Branch Street, a couple miles away. And then with that, there's some drainage and water work directly associated with areas that we're going to be constructing the sewer. So anywhere there's older water main or drain that's somewhat in conflict. And then 2 culverts along Countryway as well. So that's generally the scope of work. The project is going to have a lot of benefit regarding the environment. So we'll be taking properties off on-site septic. The goal to be reducing nutrient and pathogen loading to Bound Brook, Muscoppic Brook salt marsh, and groundwater. So overall, this is a great project from both environmental and to bring sewer to the people in the North Scituate area.
Um,
Can I show the map? Is that a possibility? Can I share?
Josh, Jen stepped out. I think someone was at the door. What is it that you want to do we already have that map up showing the,
Yeah. I can see that figure for what it's worth.
Okay,
Yep.
I can see it now that I clicked over onto Jen Smith's screen. I'm a little unfamiliar with Zoom, so thanks everyone for bearing with me.
So
the
are we
area-
all set?
Yeah, we're all set. Thank
Okay,
you.
just checking.
So the area in green is the area that's going to be getting sewer service. The riverfront area is in the dark blue, and then all the purple polygons, those are the Mass DEP flagged wetlands. And the red is the force main that goes down from Countryway to Branch Street down to Beaver Dam Road. From that yellow square, that's the pump station. So overall, that's the scope of work, and Nate will step through some of the information related to the resource areas themselves.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. For the record, Nate Goshgarian with LEC Environmental. Just want to give a brief overview of the protected wetland resource areas that are on or within 100 feet of this project footprint. So as Dan stated, this is a moderately sized project coming in at 21,500 linear feet, which translates into 4 miles. The vast majority of this project is not within 100 feet of the project footprint. And the way I kind of think about this, looking at the figure, we've got kind of the northwesterly lobe in green, where a lot of our wetland resource areas are concentrated. And then we have kind of the segmented second portion of the project, which is in regard to the force main, which effectively descends down Countryway, which transitions to Branch Street, which then transitions to Beaver Dam Road. So most of the wetland resource areas that I'm going to be talking about are focused in the northwest vicinity. That said, the main hydrologic feature in that area is Bound Brook. And as most of you know, Bound Brook is a perennial stream. In this case, it originates off-site to the southwest and flows directly north. It first flows under Gannett Street. It then goes under the MBTA line and then onto our project footprint after crossing through Countryway, and then basically extends directly north in that residential vicinity with Mordecai Lincoln Road to the east and Countryway to the west. So in that vicinity for wetland resource areas, we've got bank/median and high water to Bound Brook. We've got a bordering vegetated wetland complex, which effectively flanks the entire bank. And then we've got our 200-foot riverfront area, which is associated with Bound Brook. And we've also got AE flood zone in that vicinity as well. So I thought it might be effective. We took a quick look at the plan, specifically this portion of the project, to see how the wetland delineation and the buffer zones translate onto the plan. So looking at this image that Dan is showing, it's basically going to be the most northerly section of what we see within the green. So it's Mordecai Lincoln Road as it transitions directly south. And that can be found on C107.
Do you want me to bring that page of the plan up?
Please. Yep, that'd be
Okay.
great. Thank you. Yep, perfect. So this is on its side. North is to the right. But basically what we have here is the wetland delineation in blue of bank/manual high water to Bound Brook. We've then got in green directly up gradient our fringing bordering vegetated wetland system. And we've got the 50-foot buffer zone as well as the 100-foot buffer zone in purple. And then a little farther at the bottom of the page in kind of teal blue, we've got the 200 riverfront area. So I just wanted to show everybody how our wetland delineation kind of translates to the plans as well as the associated buffer zone and riverfront area. This snapshot that we're looking at is pretty characteristic of this area in terms of what wetland resource areas are here. There's only two other sections that I wanted to briefly go over that are further down a couple miles on Country Way, and they're in regard to the two culverts that are being replaced. There's two culverts. One is smaller than the first one, so we'll take a look at the smaller one. That can be found on sheet C112, if you don't mind. Big set. There we go. Perfect. Just a little to the left. Great. So like the last sheet, I just wanted to show how our wetland delineation is depicted on the plans as well as the associated buffer zone. So we flagged bank to this intermittent stream. This was pretty much a dry socket when I was out there. But again, this is an intermittent stream that is conveying flow in a culvert beneath Country Way. This is one of the two culverts that are going to be replaced. And we've got our 50-foot buffer zone and our 100-foot buffer zone as well. The next sheet, if we could just take a quick look at that, that'll be C117. That'll look very similar to this, although the footprint is a little bit larger. Um,
17, sorry.
Yep, so no problem. Perfect, right there. Yep. So this is our second culvert to be replaced. It's a little bit larger, comes in at 28 inches by 28 inches by 60 feet. You also notice that we do have a bordering vegetated wetland that I flagged out there on both sides of Country Way. Again, I just wanted to show the delineation, how it shows up in the respective buffer zones, as well as the footprint of work, which in this case specifically is the culvert replacement. So that's really a general overview of all the wetland resource areas that are effectively along this project footprint. Mr. Chairman, I'll hand it back over to you. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Jen, do you want to comment first?
I think my question, I can't find my notes at the moment, was when might we start this work and how long do we think it would take? And I'm sorry if I missed that in the beginning.
Sure. No, I didn't go over schedule. So we're currently going through the permitting phase. In addition to this, we have an Army Corps permit we're working through right now. We're also going through securing funding through the SRF program. So those are the two main schedule constraints right now. It's permitting and funding. So the town's already been awarded the SRF funding, but we have to go through the loan package process. So long story short is we're looking to bid this sometime in the fall and start construction in the spring of 2027. As to where the contractor is going to be working at certain times, that's means and methods. But on the gravity side, he's going to start down by the pump station and work his way from Country Way and Gannett Road upstream. So like up into that area closer to Cohasset. But then with the force main and the culverts, that's going to be a little bit on him or her to decide really the timing of all that based on their means and methods, just because the force main isn't gravity, it's pressure. But overall, we're looking at 2 construction seasons, so we're anticipating them taking up to the full construction season, so March, April of 2027 through winter moratorium in November of 2027, and then pick back up work the following spring and hopefully wrap up that construction season before winter moratorium. And then there's going to be final paving that's done the following spring of 2029.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Penny?
No, I'm surprised it's gonna be done that quickly. It all looks good to me. I have my faith in their wetland lines. And, they know we'll be keeping an eye on them to make sure we don't disturb or pollute any of the wetlands. But thank you.
Okay. Brendan?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Robbie?
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for the presentation. It's a great project. I think it's a long time in the making. Couple of questions I had. Could you describe the erosion control measures that you expect the contractor to take as they're constructing this?
Or Kendra, do you want to go over those?
Yeah, happy to. My name is Kendra Robinson. I'm with Woodard and Curran on the civil side. We will expect the contractor to install straw wattles along the areas within the buffer of the resource areas and in other places as directed by the owner or engineer if we see a lot of sediment buildup and dispersion throughout the project area. We will also have silt sacks in all of the catch basins along the project area to prevent sediment from directly discharging into the stormwater system. And then at the culvert crossings, we'll have silt sock there for erosion control, as well as turbidity curtains and some coffer damming as necessary to make sure the work is completed in the dry to prevent sedimentation from flowing downstream.
Mm-hmm.
Any discharge, any dewatering would be or dewatering discharge would go into a settling basin or a sediment discharge bag to reduce the instance of sedimentation getting into the stream from any dewatering devices.
Mm-hmm. Are these culvert crossings intermittent as well, or?
Yes, they're intermittent, so ideally there'll be no flow during the construction, but our contractor would be required to prepare a water control plan and a bypass plan that can be reviewed by conservation prior to its implementation, just to make sure that it's being constructed in the dry without having any negative impact downstream.
Mm-hmm. And how would that be memorialized so that it's would it be in the specifications or in the notes on the plans or a specific call out?
Yeah, so we would require it within the drawings, and the specifications are kind of very limited buffers that we give the contractor, and then they provide us a submittal that will be specific to that project. And so just like the pipe that they submit on and the backfill material and the pavement, it's a record for the project as to what they intend to use for products and means and methods.
Excellent. And then I assume the contractor is going to have a laydown area somewhere. Then they're going to have, I imagine, granular fill material or excavated material. What is the plan for managing that?
Yeah, Dan, do you want to speak to that as for the project as a whole?
Sure. Yeah, the town hasn't designated a laydown area, so it's going to be up to the contractor to facilitate their own location to stage and stockpile materials.
Mm-hmm. I
But
assume that they would be required to manage any kind of material that could be washed out by storm events, right?
yes, and we'll have one thing I wanted to make sure you're aware of is we will have an inspector out there every day, and Woodard and Curran will also make periodic inspections to see the quality of the work and stuff. So we'll have a lot of eyes on the sediment erosion control
Mm-hmm.
and just overall the contractor's operation to make sure he's in compliance with the expectation of yourself and the others on the commission.
Great. And then it looked like there was a decent amount of drainage in the project too. Are there going to be catch basins replaced, the existing ones replaced, or?
It's going to be dependent on if we're, Kendra, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's if we're upsizing the pipe, we're going to replace those structures. But in most instances, we're just replacing the pipe in kind, and they'll just tie it into the existing structure.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming that anything replaced would be kind of a state standard deep sump type structure.
Yes, yep.
And that if they're working on the existing structures, that the contractor would clean them out at the end of the project of um, any material that's inside of them. But those are all the questions I have. I think it's a great looking project. Ready for it.
So Robbie, it's 2 manholes and 5 catch basins that we're anticipating based on our design.
Okay, thank you.
Everything else is just pipe.
Okay, thank you. That's it for members, right? Do we have anybody in the audience with questions on this project?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. I've got a couple. Robbie, thanks for covering an awful lot of that. That's great. When I was looking for the erosion control and whatnot, the last page of the plans that I have like the turbidity note, and they have a sandbag cofferdam, but I didn't really see much for notation with regard to the just the conventional erosion control. Is that a detail that's already in the plan?
Trying to pull it up now. Yeah, it should be.
I to be honest, I didn't go through all the plans, so maybe it was earlier in that. I caught that piece of it, but didn't see.
Yep, I'm opening up right now. Let's see. There. On sheet C 907, there's a silt fence. There's several various civil details related to that.
Okay. And then the staging areas, is that something that will be conveyed to the commission members or the Jen, so that we have the opportunity? Thank you for that. Will the staging areas or the laydown areas, is that something we'll get notified on so we can look at that? That seems to be sometimes where we have a little bit of a hiccup.
Absolutely. Yeah, like through these meetings and at the forefront of the project, anything in particular you guys want to be engaged on would be great to express to us and coordinate with us. And we're more than happy to have an on-site meeting at the start of the project. You know, once they get a representative amount of their erosion sediment control in place, and can talk just big picture on the project. Or if members want to join our kickoff meeting at the beginning of construction too, we're all for having you guys engaged as much as possible to make the project successful on the Concom side.
We're, it's already been said, but we're very pleased to see this happen, and we know environmentally it'll be a great addition for the North Scituate area and Bound Brook and all that. But it would be good to know sort of early on where some of these staging areas might take place, so that we might have some comment and be sure that those areas are protected as well. And then I think DPW is more cognizant of the most recent project going on in Scituate at Hadley School has had some issues with runoff from the site. It's a large area, and it is a town project, but they still have to meet the same standards as anybody else doing a project in town with regards to protecting our resource areas. So that sort of information would be great if we could just keep a dialogue and know where those are going. I do, maybe Sean can elaborate on this. I always thought that they were gonna run the sewer in the railroad track. There was a pipe that was put in back when they did that. I was just surprised to see this is going up this route. Is there a reason for that?
Actually, a couple. One of them, it's inundated with water, so we know we have leaks in it. And second, to be able to get to it is nearly impossible if something ever happened.
Got you.
Will has been trying to get into a manhole that is at the intersection of Gannett and Country Way. It's been over a year to open the cover.
Wow. I guess. Well, so much for well-planned projects, Sean.
I know it. And we've heard some horror stories at some of the the Mass Highway meetings, some of the cities up closer to Boston that did take advantage of railroad right of ways. And when something breaks, it's days and days of sewerage before they can even get to it to stop it, never mind repair it.
I guess if you think about it in that regard, it makes sense. I was just surprised to see that going in a different direction. So is this forced through most of this? I missed a little bit about where they said it would start to be gravity, but is this pretty much a forced line out of North Scituate to get to
Beaver Dam?
Beaver Dam?
Yeah. So the pump station's right now sited in the lot with the WPA building. And then it's over 14,000 feet to Beaver Dam, about 2 3/4 miles.
And will that allow connection along that route, Sean, at all?
No. So the abutting properties will not be able to take advantage of that force main. We've had several meetings on that, of all the engineering practices against tying into a force main. You have a high pressure pump station at the WPA building, and you have small grinder pumps, at very low pressures, trying to get into that system with small backflow.
Sure.
And it creates
it could be a mess.
Nightmares. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. I think those are my questions. And do we have anybody else for this one? Okay. Jen, we good to
Close an issue?
Yeah, I don't see any other hands raised with any other questions, and I did take notes of some additional specifics to add to the conditions.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So
All right.
I'll
Go ahead, Penny.
make a motion to close an issue.
It's Penny. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
From Brendan, all in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. Great. Thank you all for presentation. Sorry for the delay in getting started.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Thank you, Woodard and Curran team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
107 Glades Road. I believe we have a request to continue. Do we open that one? I have to open it. And we're going to open it and then continue it.
Okay.
So on July 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Mass General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws for a notice of intent filed by Michael Walsh for the demolition and reconstruction of a single-family dwelling within wetland resource areas at 107 Glades Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information, access, and meetings available at the agenda posted on the website. How far out did we want to continue that one, Jen? Do you know?
The 17th of August.
Yeah.
Do we have we're okay continuing these to that date? In terms of the number,
Yes.
okay,
So I'll make a motion, Frank, that we continue 107 Glades Road to August 17th.
it's a motion from Penny,
And Brendan shall second that.
second from Brendan, all in favor, Robbie
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Thank you. Okay. 11 10th Ave.
Yeah.
I gotta open that one as well and then continue it. On July 20th, 2026, 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws, Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, for notice of intent filed by Wesley Hutchinson for the construction of an addition to a single-family dwelling within buffer to wetlands resources located at 11 10th Ave, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posted on the website. And
I will make a motion. We continue that to August 31st, Frank.
okay, is that what you're looking for,
Yeah.
Jen?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a motion from Penny. A second,
I'll second that.
that was Brendan. All in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
Frank, yes. Great, thank you.
Okay, now we go to 3 Ring.
Oh, let's see. This is,
Septic.
yep. On July 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing in the Chapter 131, Section 40 of Massachusetts General Laws, and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, for notice of intent filed by Mary C. Wagner for an upgrade to a septic system within the buffer to a wetlands resource and located at 8 3 Ring Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access this meeting is available on the agenda posted on the town website. We have somebody from Morse Engineering.
Yes, we do. Paul? Oh, Paul Gunn, you are unmuted.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So just for the record again, my name is Paul Gunn. I'm an engineer with Morris Engineering here tonight representing the applicants for the NOI at 8 3 Ring Road. So this site is previously disturbed and currently includes a single family dwelling with an associated driveway, some hardscaping and landscaping, and then a mixture of lawn and brush areas. There's an existing failed septic system that's in the rear yard, which includes a septic tank and a crushed stone leaching field. There are no vegetated resource areas or associated buffer zones on site, and it's not in any of the DEP overlay zones. The only resource area on the property is land subject to coastal storm flowage, delineated by FEMA Zone AE based on elevation 12. The floodplain encompasses the southern half of the property and ultimately connects to the Gulf River. The work being proposed includes the abandonment of the existing system and the installation of a new 1,500-gallon septic tank, 1,000-gallon pump chamber, and a geomat leaching field. The system is proposed in approximately the same location as the existing one, though the proposed field will be smaller and closer to the dwelling than the existing one. The work necessitates the removal of a shed and 2 trees. The trees which are shown as orange on the site plan. The proposed work requires minimal fill and will be restored post-construction with loam and seed. I believe that's all I have. I'll turn it back to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Jen?
We don't have any comments from DEP. We have the abutter notifications. Board of Health is good with the plan. We would thank you for noting the trees that would need to be removed. I don't have any other comments.
Right. Brendan?
I love a good septic system. I have no questions.
Okay, Robbie?
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for the presentation. I had a question, excuse me, a note, a call out above the benchmark 2 call out says existing septic tank to be removed as necessary. Is it going to be removed as part of this or?
So if you, I may help to zoom in a little bit on the tanks, but so this building sewer exits underneath the slab. It's a walkout,
Mhm.
so it's difficult to adjust that location. And so we're proposing the new tanks on top of basically in the same spot as where part of the existing tank is. Typically, the existing tanks are just filled and abandoned often. In this case, they'll probably have to crush and remove most of it. Um, it may be that one of the walls doesn't need to be removed, so that's why we said as necessary. Uh, in all likelihood, though, the whole thing's probably going to get removed.
So there'll be a new septic tank is what you're saying.
Yes, a new septic tank, a new pump chamber, and they're going kind of partially on top of where the existing tank is, just because we don't have a lot of flexibility with the pipe that leaves the building.
Understood. And that existing outlet from the building is under a patio?
It's under, yeah, it's under a patio. It also exits underneath the basement slab, so it goes
Mhm.
right through the slab and then out. So, very difficult to change that
Yeah.
pipe. Yeah.
Did you video inspect it?
We haven't. I don't believe it's typically you only have to really replace it if it's like Orangeburg pipe or something like that. We don't believe that's the case. So the contractor will have to verify the invert in the field, just because that's probably going to require some excavation along that backyard deck and patio. Um, but
What kind of material is the existing pipe?
existing soil is
I'm sorry,
fairly
the
good.
pipe.
Oh, pipe. I believe it's PVC, but I'm not certain.
Mhm.
In the event it's Orangeburg, they'd have to remove it all, but I don't think that's the case. Um, it's a pump system though, so even if that pipe is deeper than we expect, it wouldn't have an impact on the septic system.
Yes. I guess my concern would be the integrity of that existing pipe and not knowing if there's a belly in it or if there's a crack in a joint or something like that, and then to put in a whole new system and then have that point where you don't know with the condition of, I don't know, it seems like I'd want to know if I was a homeowner.
Certainly, I mean, I'm happy to add a note to the plan, something effective, either video inspection or, full excavation if possible. That might not be possible on this site, but they can certainly set a snake camera down there.
Yeah. And then the excavated material, it looks like it's going to be dispersed on site. Is that accurate?
Yes, yeah, most likely. It's good material here. So, and geomats have a very small remove and replace. You don't have to do a big excavation typically for a geomat, very small footprint. So we're not
Mhm.
expecting much in the way of soil that would have to be removed.
And this new leaching field is in the same location as the old one?
Not quite. It's closer to the house. If you can see it, it's just to the left of benchmark number 2. There's a large rectangle. It says approx SAS location. The as-built info on that is not great, but that's
Mhm.
where we believe that existing leach field is. Conventional crushed stone leaching field, which you can see is a little bit further south and kind of in the southeastern portion of the property.
Mhm. And was the failure from the leaching field?
I'm not certain. I would have to consult the Title V report on that front. Um, but most failures are associated with the water level in the D box being above the outlet pipe.
Right. So is that from failure of the leaching field and it backing up through the?
Yeah, typically, a system this, yeah, typically with systems of this age, it's usually the thickness of the biomat is just too much, which means that water starts backing up, and if it's ever above the outlet pipe, it's considered a failure.
Mhm. But then you're putting the new system on top of that old system.
No. So if you zoom in, probably maybe 10 square feet of the new systems where the old system was.
Okay.
Otherwise, it should be virgin material.
Okay.
We also have a note that under our remove and replace that if any contaminated soil is encountered during excavation, all of it needs to be removed from the limit of the new system.
Okay, good. No, like it was said, I like a new septic system. I think Brendan said that. So no other questions. Thank you.
Okay. Penny, did I ask you?
No, not yet, but I really don't have any questions. The only question I do have is you're removing two mature trees. Do we want something done, Frank, to replace those or some mitigation for removing the mature trees or not? I mean, there are a lot of trees in the yard.
It's pretty well wooded. I
Yeah.
mean, if this were an addition, if they were looking for an expansion or something,
Yeah.
then we typically look for that. In this case, they're getting a
Yeah.
system that's not not into the water table as much, it's compliant system. I think that's personally, I think that's adequate mitigation for that point.
I do too, but I just wanted to ask.
I think it's a
Since Eric isn't here to ask.
it's a tough site
Yeah.
with the slope and the hill. It couldn't really go out front. I know that they've been anxious to move this along. It kind of got delayed.
Sure.
I went out to take a quick look, and I get the part about where the tank is going and pump chamber, and trying to locate exactly where the old leaching area is. And the good news is with the Board of Health is once they excavate that field before they can do anything, the Board of Health inspects that location. So there's multiple inspections during that process. I think, to Robbie's thought, just making sure that the pipe leaving the house isn't already broken. But this house is probably 40 something years old. All this is usually Schedule 40 PVC, but still could be the possibility. So checking that out is a good idea. And then, unfortunately, they do have to take a couple of trees to get at this.
No, I'm fine, Frank.
Do we have anybody in the audience for this one?
I do see a hand raised. I will unmute iPad AW. You might need to unmute it on your end also.
Sorry about that. I was just saying, I'm Andrea Wagner on iPad AW. I'm here with my mother, Mary Wagner, the homeowner.
Hi, I just here if you need me.
Oh, great. I know, Mary, that you've been waiting a while to get this moved along. And I think we got all the questions answered. Does anybody have any questions for Mary? In there, I think Paul's done a pretty good job of laying this out.
He did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay,
Ready to go, Frank.
I think I could take a motion.
I make a motion that we close an issue, Three Ring Farm.
That's motion by Penny. To have a second?
I second that.
From Brendan. All in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. So with that, Mary, the commission closes the hearing, and then the office will generate a set of orders for your project. I know that this has gotten delayed a couple of times, so let's see what we can do to move that along. I think that's it for that one. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Yep, thank you.
What are we at? Number 9, Pond View. So on July 20th to 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws for notice of intent filed by the Shea Family Realty Trust for the expansion of an existing porch and after the fact filing of a patio within a wetlands resource area at 9 Pondview Avenue, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting will be available on the agenda posted on the website.
Hi there again. I'm here for Morse again. So just for the record, Paul Gunn, professional engineer with Morse Engineering. Sorry, Jen, did I cut you off?
I was just going to make sure you knew you were unmuted.
Okay. All right. So I'm here again to represent the applicant for the NOI at 9 Pondview. So this site is previously disturbed and includes a single-family dwelling with a paved driveway, a mixture of hardscaping and landscaping, and some lawn areas. The site's served by subsurface utilities, including sewer, so no septic on site. The site is composed entirely of upland. There are no buffer zones on site either. The only resource area here is land subject to coastal storm flowage, delineated by a FEMA Zone AE at several elevations. I believe it is an elevation 12, 13, and 16 on the property. There was a previous order of conditions issued for this property in 2021 for the construction of an addition. COC was issued for that project in 2022. The project work includes the construction of a small porch expansion in the front yard. This expansion will be 7 feet wide and 11.7 feet long and is intended to rest on 2 sonotubes. The expansion requires no removal of vegetation or change in topography. Additionally, since the last COC was issued in 2022, there was some work done in the backyard. This work includes the construction of a patio and fire pit in a previously disturbed lawn area. It did not involve removing any trees or causing any significant changes in topography within the floodplain. That's all I have. I'll turn it back to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Jen, do you?
Yes, so no comments from DEP. We have the abutter notification. I'm looking at the plan June 24th, 2026. Yes, they had the previous orders were closed out. That work was done according to the plan. And I think here we're the only addition is the porch. There's no additional living space as far as the porch that's existing is still remaining a porch.
Yes,
Might
that's
be-
correct.
Okay.
Yes. They're just expanding.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. There's no trees coming down for any of this work or any particular vegetation being removed. And I appreciate the update on the other work done in the backyard. Thank you.
Right. Do I start with the last? I guess we're back to Penny, maybe?
Yes, you are, sir. I don't have any questions on this. It looks pretty straightforward to me. Thank you.
You. Brendan?
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Excuse me. Robbie?
Thanks, Frank. The after the fact patio, was that built by the homeowner or?
Yes, if you zoom up a little or scroll up a bit, Jen, you can see it. It's that patio there that connects to that detached. It's labeled as a garage. It's not functionally used as one, but it's that patio in question right there.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Do we have anybody in the audience for this one?
I do not see any hands raised.
I don't have any questions either. I think I'm glad that they brought this up on the other patio and addressed it along with this expansion. So now we have a concise set of plans. I think I'm,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Then I'll make a motion, Frank.
Sure.
I make a motion to close and issue Pondview Ave.
That's a motion from Penny, a second
I'll second that.
from Brendan. All in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
So now 18 and 20 Country Way. Looks like the applicant's requesting to continue to August 17th.
Yes. I'll make
Yes.
that motion. And I think we already opened this.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So I'll make a motion, Frank, to continue 18 and 20 Country Way to August 17th.
Okay, that's a motion from Penny, a second.
I'll second that.
Brendan, all in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
Frank, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
7 New Driftway. Looks like they'd also like to continue.
To September 9th, which is a
Oh.
Wednesday.
Oh. Have we did open that, right? Yes.
We did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
So,
one where the road, the access to the building was around the
Yeah.
rear.
Yes.
Yeah.
9-9. Okay, I'll make a motion to continue 7 New Driftway to September 9th.
It's Penny, a second.
I'll second that.
Brendan, favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. Thank
Oh.
you.
Yay.
Okay, 430 Hadley Road.
We're doing okay here.
So on on July 20th, 2026, 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws for a notice of intent filed by Edward Johnson for the demolition and reconstruction of a single-family dwelling within the wetland resources area at 430 Hadley Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posted on the website.
Hello there. This is Paul Gunn again. Professional with Morse Engineering. Just a record here tonight representing the applicants for the NOI at 430 Hatherley. So this is a previously disturbed site that includes a single-family dwelling with an associated turnaround paved driveway, some rear yard decks, a lawn, and shed in the rear yard as well. The existing dwelling is served by subsurface utilities, including sewer, so no septic system here, and an overhead electric line. There are 2 resource areas on site. The first is a bordering vegetated wetland, which was delineated by Brad Holmes in April of this year, and its associated buffer zone, which borders Musquashnet Pond. The second is land subject to coastal storm flowage, delineated by a FEMA zone AE, based on elevation 12, which covers the entire property. The applicant is proposing to demolish the existing dwelling and shed and construct a new single-family dwelling in its place. It's the intention to maintain the existing paved driveway and to disconnect and then reconnect the existing utilities to the new dwelling. The proposed dwelling will be built on a concrete foundation with flood vents, and the proposed first floor elevation is 22.1. The proposed grading is fairly minimal and largely restricted to the rear yard, and we're proposing elevation differences there of give or take a foot or less. The project does not require the removal of any existing trees. We've also provided an impervious table to demonstrate we don't trigger the stormwater applicability regulations, though we are currently proposing an erosion control pad in the backyard for the roof downspouts. We've proposed a mulch stock around the property to prevent erosion or sedimentation into the resource area, as well as 2 conservation posts in the rear yard. Post-construction, all disturbed areas will be stabilized with loam and seed. I believe that's all I have. I'll turn it back to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Jen?
Yes, we didn't have any comments from DEP. We have abutter notifications. The plan I'm looking at is from July 13th, 2026. Um, I think most of my questions are probably around the proposed riprap discharge apron. Maybe some additional detail about that, or I don't know if it's how much material's coming out, what size the riprap is. Um, and then the other part was for underneath the deck. I might have missed this, but what is the surface for underneath of that? Because I believe there's some area underneath of it, maybe to walk out from the basement floor.
Certainly. Yeah, you're correct. We don't have a detail currently showing the apron. Happy to provide that. We can provide sizing calcs as well. Uh, I don't believe we've proposed a surface type under there. I believe the intention is for it to be pervious. I assumed gravel, but I believe we might have to coordinate with the client to make sure that that's in fact what they're intending and not a patio surface.
Okay. Anything else, Jen?
I might, but that's what I have for right now.
Did you want them to elaborate a little bit on this, the discharge apron or level spreader or whatever we're calling it? You can have any more information on that, Paul?
Certainly. Yeah, so this is this kind of site where unfortunately groundwater is quite elevated, which would render, the installation of dry wells, which would be, the typically perhaps sought after BMP for this sort of project, would render them fairly ineffective for, most of the year just due to the elevated groundwater levels. So the proposed riprap discharge apron is really just a way to provide a protected outlet for the new roof runoff and prevent any erosion or scour across that backyard into the wetland. Because as it is now, there's really not much of a vegetated buffer to that area. So we wanted to provide some sort of level spreader and BMP that would provide some protection from scour and erosion that did not really necessitate a separation to groundwater.
Okay. Let's go through members, I guess, to Brendan.
Yes. So, all right. I guess there's encroachment on your proposed deck into the 50, and I'd like to see some. I mean, is there any other mitigation besides the posts and
Oh, yeah,
that
certainly.
could be considered?
Yeah, so we are currently proposing some of the stairs. The deck itself is out of the 50, but some of those stairs, I believe it's approximately 5.5 square feet of encroachment. We are removing an existing shed from the 50-foot buffer, which is removing about 56 square feet of encroachment from the 50-foot buffer. So I believe we're proposing that in addition to the conservation posts. But if the commission is looking for some vegetative mitigation as well, we can provide that.
Okay, and there's just two conservation posts. Like, why could we put another one along there, or is there like what's the thought on that? Just two.
Oh no, we can certainly provide a third, probably at the top right corner there where the 50 crosses the property line. We could definitely provide another one.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Okay. Robbie?
Thanks, Frank. This house is elevated, I think, right? Is that correct?
Yes, it's on a concrete foundation, but the first floor is elevated.
Right.
And so we'll have unfinished storage area above that slab elevation.
Sorry, can you describe the foundation to me again?
Absolutely. So garage slab at two different elevations, the garage and then the actual slab underneath the dwelling, which is at elevation 12, whereas the garage slab is at 10.5. That's all going to be unfinished storage area. And then we have a first floor elevation at 22.1. And then that basement area with the slab at elevation 12 will have FEMA flood vents per NFIP requirements.
Mm-hmm. And that wall that's closest to the resource area with the flood vents, is that closer in this proposal than it was in the existing?
It is. So if you look at this proposed house, the bold line there is the outline of the new foundation. There's actually a dashed line. You can see if you look into the center of the foundation, that's the outline of the previous foundation. So the foundation itself is approximately 10 feet closer to the BVW.
And by virtue of the flood vents, we're saying we're not changing the flood storage of the resource area because floodwater is allowed to enter this unfinished area?
Yes, I also believe that in cases of land subject to coastal storm flowage, that compensatory flood storage is not a performance standard, I don't believe, which in this case, this is land subject to coastal storm flowage, not a bordering FEMA floodplain.
Okay. And then the setback from the front, is that by zoning? Is that a zoning minimum?
Yes. Yep. So the minimum setback there is 30 feet, and we have it at 30.8 feet.
And then it looks like the house is, or the new structure is larger than the old structure?
Yes. The existing roof area, so this is footprint, not gross floor area, anything like that, is approximately 1,800 square feet, and the proposed structure is approximately 2,800 square feet. So a net difference in roof area of about 1,000 square feet.
Would it be uncommon to go to the ZBA to get relief from that setback in order to have a structure be not as close to resource areas?
Yes, I would say would. I don't think I've ever seen that occur. We did go to zoning just for the it's a pre-existing nonconformity, so we have been to zoning. I haven't personally seen a relief granted of that nature. That would also, I mean, it's currently the intent as well to make use of the existing driveway. So that would also affect that portion of the work. But I personally haven't seen relief from front yard setbacks in that capacity.
Thank you. No other questions for me.
Okay. Have I got all the members?
Me?
Oh, Penny, go ahead.
How can you forget me? Oh, okay. First and foremost, underneath that proposed deck, please tell your client we will not even consider a hard surface under there. Grass, maybe some gravel, but why don't you just have some grass under there? And I have to ask, the proposed deck, that's gonna be on post, right?
Yes, that'll be on sonotubes.
Yeah.
We don't have
sonotubes.
them shown on the site plan, but I believe they are shown on the architecturals.
Okay, but I mean, you're right up to the 50, okay? If we're gonna let the house go that much closer, don't even attempt to put a hard surface under that deck, because I know I'm a 1,000,000% against that. You're just gonna create problems, okay? Other than that, Frank, I'm all set with it. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience in this one?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. So Paul, I mean, you've heard the concerns of the commission. I do think that the zoning board has given relief in the past for a setback when it's a really tight site. I think that happened out on Third Cliff. I can remember a couple of others where, when you're pushed up against the the wetlands. Actually, the biggest one that was allowed was down Hatherley Road by one of the sheep ponds at Egypt Beach. It was a project that Steve did, Bjorklund did, and it was very tight to the pond, and they allowed them to move that closer to the road. So it has been granted to get some relief for that. I appreciate removing the shed. So, I mean, technically, you're taking out more in the 50 than you're proposing to put back in. So that's a reasonable request, I guess. Obviously, we're looking to minimize any disturbance towards the Musquashka Pond. Just wondering if maybe everything that's in the backyard could get pulled back a little bit, the level spreader, and then maybe vegetate a corner where that might be, just to get more protection towards the pond. Might be a reasonable alternative to not shifting that.
Certainly. So just moving that level spreader back to, so you revegetate that corner.
And then vegetate that corner with some, who did your wetlands?
Brad Holmes.
So Brad could come up with a plan for that triangle, maybe in the area behind the posts, and as I'm not quite sure what exists on the other side of that. It looks like it's pretty vegetated. So maybe a couple more posts to just keep people from, it's not their property anyways, but just from not disturbing any more of that.
Yeah, we can provide something to that effect.
And so that would mean your erosion control would get pulled back.
Yes. Yeah, perhaps to that elevation 6 contour.
I think that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then vegetate that area, do those, and pull the level spreader back on that would be a good gain, in my opinion. So the existing driveway, just trying to make it out on your plan. That's like a circle, so you're gonna maintain that circular driveway?
Yes. Right now it comes in at the bottom right corner, exits at the top there. Plan, left corner. Yeah, so the goal there is to maintain that. Obviously, a little bit of work will have to be done to connect that to the existing or the proposed garage bays, but the goal is to do as little work there as possible. They want to maintain that driveway in its current footprint and condition.
See, is that obvious to everybody? You can see the outline of that. It's kind of a circular driveway. It's a tough corner, so in terms of being safe coming and going from that house, it's probably needed. We're on sort of that bend on Hadley Road, which is pretty tough to get in and out of. And so the grade of the existing garage will blend to that existing driveway.
Yes.
So that slab's at 10. And so then the slab for the house is higher than the garage by 1.5 feet?
That's correct, yeah.
But that's an unfinished, no utilities or anything. What's that flood elevation there? It should be right.
The flood elevation is 12. But yeah, it'll have flood vents and it's going to be unfinished storage.
Okay.
So no habitable living space.
So that's is that 812? Is that right?
Yes, A12.
Okay. Right. And we have details on the foundation and whatnot in the architecturals.
Yes, but I think we would maybe want the flood vents added to it.
Yes, I believe that was one of Corey's comments, was we'll have to show the flood vents and the sizing on the actual architectural plans.
Okay. Um, I think that's it for me. I think it just makes sure, Jen, like our orders are very specific to that space being unfinished and it's in the flood zone. Is technically it's, what is it? You have to be 2 feet above that. Or 3
Yeah,
feet?
that's 2 feet's the new
Yeah.
or yeah, the new FEMA code.
Okay. All right.
So I
That's it.
think we wanted more detail on the riprap, um, mitigation, more markers, flood vent details.
I also have written down identify the surface type under the deck
Yes.
and to pull the riprap back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe show the
That's-
support, show the footings and some of that information, Paul, so
Yeah,
we can see all
certainly
that. Okay?
for the porch and the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, the supports for the stairs um and the deck. Okay.
So when do you want to continue it to, Jen?
The earliest we can do is the 17th of August.
Okay.
Can you have the plans revised by then, Paul?
Certainly.
Is there any other utility work? Are they renewing sewer or water?
Yeah, so they'll have to move. They have an E1 grinder pump now. They'll have to relocate that. Water, we're expecting just to disconnect and reconnect. And same with the electric. Currently, they have an overhead wire, but it comes across the street.
Okay.
And if they're doing anything like a generator or anything like that, um,
We need to know.
Yeah, I do not know if they are, but I will double check and I'll include anything on the revised plans, generator or HVAC.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna continue this to August 17th.
Yes, I make a
Okay.
motion. We continue 4:30 Hadley Road to August 17th.
Motion by Penny,
I second that.
by Brendan, all in favor. Robbie
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. The next one is Country Club Circle. I gotta take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back.
Okay. God, James Landon. Family. Those two. Wow. Murdered. Um.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, I gotta open this one. On July 20th, 2026, 6 p.m., Central Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws for notice of intent filed by Robert Stachura, sorry about that, Stachura, for the construction of an addition of a single-family dwelling within the wetland resource areas located at 2 Country Club Circle, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posted on the website. We have someone from Stenbeck and Taylor.
Yes, this is Rick Savant, Rich Stenbeck and Taylor. Good evening. I'm working with the homeowners, the Stachuras on this project. We filed the notice of intent for some work on the existing single-family residence. The property, as you've probably seen, is on the corner of Country Club Circle and Hadley Road, up at the northerly end of Hadley, just west of Musquashkett Pond.
Yeah.
The house was built in 1967. It abuts bordering vegetated wetland. There's also an intermittent stream in the rear yard. This is the stream that comes from the golf course located to the west and flows under Hadley into the pond at times. So our resource areas are the inland bank there, the associated BVW that is associated with that intermittent stream, as well as land subject to coastal storm flowage. The entire lot's in the flood area. The existing houses within I'm sorry, Penny, go ahead.
No, I'm
okay.
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay. So the existing property there, the house is within the 50-foot buffer. The proposed, what the folks are proposing to do is a small 15 by 14 addition off the rear of the home. This addition will be is proposed to be set on helical screw piles and elevated off the ground approximately 6 feet to match the existing floor level of the house. It's a split level ranch style home. So the main living space is up above the ground, and this rear addition will be elevated off the ground to match that existing first floor level. Helical screws with wood posts on top of that to support it. And it is a bedroom is what's proposed in that area of the existing rear yard. The second part of the project is there's an existing landing in the front of the house for the entry. They're proposing to cover that with a roof just for ease of entry into the home. But a small roof area over that, which will also be supported by helical screws. So I know we've got some resource areas that we're dealing with here, but the addition again will be up off the ground. They were proposing, I know this came up in an earlier meeting, underneath this thing shown on the architectural plans, they're proposing pervious pavers in this case in the yard. So that's pretty much what they're hoping to do here. And of course, we're wrapping the site with erosion control, stake silt sock during construction. Of course, the screws provide less excavation for this area to set those screws, and they do have access through the existing paved driveway and to get into the rear yard to do that work. So I'll stop talking and answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Jen?
We didn't have any comments from DEP. We have the abutter notification. This size addition doesn't trigger needing a stormwater permit. I think my only comment to start with might be is there anything coming out from the backyard? I guess I was looking at that the brick patio that's in the wetland or near abutting it. If that was considered, I think it's on the outside of the fence for the yard.
They weren't proposing that, but those structures, yeah, they're there, they're close. They're occupying pretty much all the yard space in the small lot, but yeah, that is an existing brick patio there. And they didn't express to me that anything was coming out, but understood that the lot had some challenges, and we'll be working with the commission for this addition.
Okay. Who did I start with last time? Maybe Brendan, do you want to comment?
Yeah, so I I I guess so the red part is what we're adding, right? That red square.
Correct. In the rear, yes,
Okay.
the 15 by 14 addition, yes.
All right. And yeah, I guess I would love to see that. Is that brick thing beyond the fence? I mean, is it needed to be there? I'd love to see it come out. I also see that a shed has been added in the last year or two. I don't know. I don't.
Right. Yeah. So I could certainly work with the homeowners on those subjects. Yeah, the brick is like just a sitting patio area that's there. I'm not sure when it went in, and I wasn't aware that shed was recent, but currently exists out there now for sure.
But yeah, it's definitely there now. I just
Right. I'm not sure when it went in, but I'm sure you're right. It could have been within the last couple of years.
All right. Robbie?
that's it. Thank.
Okay. Well, we can circle back, Brendan. I'm sorry.
Thanks,
Robbie?
Frank. I guess would that shed need to come in front of Conservation Commission? Or would that be
Probably should
that's
have.
the right thing?
If it was installed fairly recently, it probably should have come before the commission.
Mhm.
It's a tough one. The sheds don't require a building permit. A lot of people read that and think that they're okay with it and not realize that still it's in a resource area.
Mhm.
And the shed companies never say anything.
I have no other questions or comments. Thank you.
My turn.
Yeah.
Penny?
Yeah. What's the shell? I don't get that. Yeah,
It's
brick shell
yeah,
patio.
it's shell. There's a fire pit there in the middle of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so they just put some shell down for I don't know if it's for aesthetics or just where they sit around the fire pit, but that's how that area is used as a sitting patio there and just I guess a decorative shell area around the fire pit.
Oh, I'm very disturbed because I can remember when this house was originally built, when that whole country club circle was done. And the shed, the fire pit, the patio, the brick, none of that was there. There was the house, and I'm fine with the addition on the house, but I don't know what to say about all that stuff. I mean, you're in the 25-foot buffer zone. And I understand the house was built before we had all these rules and regs, but that other stuff, that was not original to this house. I'm telling you right now, the house was built and there was some lawn back there, but I don't know what we're gonna do about it, Frank, but I'm very, very disturbed by all that back there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Do we have anybody in the audience?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. Richard, what about, I think Jen brought up a good point, that brick patio is outside of the fenced area and it really, it's actually goes into the wetlands. If the owner was willing to remove that brick area, that would go a long way Um, I have no idea how long that's been there. There's kind of a creep that happens over time. Folks trying to expand their yard a little bit, get some more space. So the possibility of removing that brick and letting that get and having that vegetated. Looks like Pine Brook did the delineation. Maybe they could come up with a little plan to revegetate that area. I mean, I get they don't have a garage in this house, so people look for a shed to put lawnmowers and gasoline and different things that you don't want to keep in your house. The patio, at least it's a shell for more pervious thing, and it seems to already be sort of separated with this fence. So I guess I think the removal of the brick would go a long way in my mind to kind of mitigate some of the other things that were done here, but willing to hear from anybody else if they have any thoughts. Robbie or Brendan or Penny, Jen.
Yeah, I think the removal of the brick would be fantastic. It's beyond the fence, like you said, and it's in the
Wetland.
in the wetland, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the reasoning for the shed. There's no other garage or anything, so I live in a house with a similar issue. And my one shed isn't enough, so we'll see.
Well,
I'm totally on board with that. I'll certainly review this with the homeowners, talk about, our discussion. And could we, revise the notice of intent to include some after the fact permitting on that shed? And obviously a planting plan after we remove the brick, and maybe some markers along the fence or something to keep them out of there going forward.
I think
Frank,
yes, Penny.
why can't the shed be moved to the east side of the house by that screen porch?
I don't think it gets you any further away from the wetlands, to be honest with you.
No, in a sense, I guess not. It's just.
I wouldn't
very-
want it in the front. The only place it would be right in the front yard, which when
No, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want it. But then
Slightly.
again, it depends upon what it looks like. I don't know. I'm just very, bothered by all that in the back. Okay, thank you.
Well, I understand, Penny, and I don't know what the answer is. We had the same discussion with the shed up on Clap Road a little while back, and I get it. I mean, it's too bad these, people see that they don't have to get a permit, and then they just move forward. And a lot of people have no clue until they go to do a larger project and wind up talking to surveyor and wetlands people. But I think if the brick were removed and then maybe Pine Brook comes up with a little vegetation plan for that area and conservation markers are placed along the fence, I think that would be a reasonable solution for this site.
Well, it's better than nothing. I would be happy, yes, if at least the brick was gone. It's
Okay.
just unfortunate that these things happen.
Jen, do you want to continue this to let them put that plan together, or can we?
Well, there is a hand raised if you want to
Oh, sure.
comment. So we have Rick Cohn. I will unmute.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, this is Rick Cohen. I own 5 Cottontail Way, which is all the property to the north of this whole section of Country Club Circle. So I'm just here as an abutter, but I have no questions.
Thank you. Sorry for the miscommunication this evening on our meetings.
Nope,
Glad-
no problem at all. But I'm
glad you
well
got on.
aware of the issue with this creek and all the work that has been done and what continues to kind of be done. The issue is there's a fragmity invasive in that creek, which is impacting water flow, but doesn't necessarily impact what's going on with this proposed addition.
Fragmites are making a mess of a lot of areas, that's for sure.
Yep. No.
Well, thank you.
No. Appreciate the opportunity to listen in.
And there's another hand raised also. Bobby Statura.
Hey guys, yes, I appreciate the time. In terms of the brick, yeah, there's no issue with removing any of that whatsoever.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes, I said with the concern with the brick on the other side of the fence, there's no problem removing that whatsoever.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can you say your last name? So I don't.
No worries. It's Statura.
Statura. Well, sorry
Yes,
about that.
No worries at all. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. So, Jen, I'm just wondering, can we
condition it?
Condition it with those pieces so that we can close this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to close an issue
With those
with all the
conditions.
conditions we talked about. Yes.
Richard, you can put that into the plan, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I can get the planting plan together quickly and get it into the commission.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for working with us on this.
Did we vote everything? We got that, right?
No, I
No,
got a
we haven't
second
voted
from Brendan.
All right, let's do that. Take a motion.
We got a motion
Okay.
for Penny
Yeah, you already got
and a
my
second
motion.
from Brendan.
A second from Brendan. All in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. All right, keep me on my toes. Thank
Oh,
you.
boy.
James
Oh.
Landing, they requesting a continuance?
No, they're definitely not.
Oh.
They were continued from July 6th, and we
Oh.
didn't have a DEP number.
Oh, yeah.
So we were waiting for that, which we've received. There weren't any comments. So unless anybody has any questions, I'm not sure if anybody's here for it, but otherwise we were ready to close an issue. We just wanted to get the DEP number.
That's right, too. Sorry about that.
That's right. We had it from the last meeting.
Does anybody else have any thoughts or questions from this? I
No.
thought that was a good presentation.
It was. It was.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion that we close and issue, Jen.
that was from
Thank you.
Penny, a second.
I will second that as well.
Brendan, all in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. Great, thank you. Okay, sorry, Cam, we wish got you on here sooner. I'm sorry.
Well,
Cole Parkway gazebo project?
can we
Well-
just do Bailey's Island quickly?
Oh,
It's a
shoot.
continuance. I make a motion, we continue zero Bailey's Island to August 17th.
Oh, we got room for that, Jen?
Barely.
But that's what it says on the
Yeah.
agenda.
We can make
Well,
it
that's
happen.
what they're requesting. I'm asking.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's probably truthfully better to go to the 31st.
Well, do you want to do that? I'm fine with that.
I just know that we've already moved a bunch of stuff to the 17th.
All right, I make a motion, we continue zero Bailey's Island to August 31st, did you say?
Yes, please, 31st.
Okay,
It's a motion from Penny. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
okay.
Brendan, all in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. Okay,
Okay.
I guess I was really in a rush to get beyond this. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
All
on July 20th at 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts General Laws, and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, for a notice of intent filed by the Town of Scituate for the construction of a gazebo within the wetlands resources located at Cole Parkway. Scituate abutters and interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posted on the town website. Do we have a plan for that, Jen?
Yes, we do. Is that
Yeah, do you need me to pull it up, Jen, or do you guys have it on your end?
it should be coming.
Oh, there it is.
I think we had a couple things. So this was just well, Cam, I'll let you introduce it and then we can get into details.
Yeah, so I have WA McKinnon here tonight. They're the ones that did the structural drawings for the new gazebo. The footprint is very similar to the old footprint, but I'm going to let Mike speak to a couple of changes that regarding the foundation, which I think you'll all be interested in. The gazebo was obviously taken down due to structural integrity issues that were found by WA McKinnon and a couple of other engineers. So the footprint's very similar, slightly different on the foundation. And Mike, I don't know if you want to chime in a little bit about that.
And while that's happening, can we bring up the structurals also? Oh, I'm unmuting him. Sorry.
No worries.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay. Are the structurals up on screen? They're there. All right, so basically what we have is that the diameter of the gazebo has been increased from 24 feet in diameter to 26 feet in diameter. Based upon our structural evaluation, we were actually able to decrease the number of footings from what was on the original construction drawings from the gazebo back in 1970, which had 12 footings. We are only in need of 11. Now, those footing sizes have increased in size a little bit just because we're dealing with an uplift issue, obviously, with it being on the water. We had to make those evaluations that would not have been done back in 1970. So that is really the only difference. We have, like I said, we're one less foundation in the ground than we were previously. They're slightly larger, but minimally to just increase the weight that I need in the foundation to counteract any uplift that would happen during storms on the coast there.
Okay.
And then as far as like electric, there was electric feeding the previous gazebo. That'll be all very similar to the, we don't have any drawings at the moment for electrical. I don't know exactly what route we're going to take. There is a temporary setup down there now with National Grid, and I might come back and propose that is firmed up and stays longer. It's actually much better than what was there before. We were actually very far out of code before. It was way too low on the ground. So I don't have any electrical plans with me at this point. This is just the structure itself at this point in time.
Okay. All right. So this, Jen, do you want to comment?
I think my only question was underneath the gazebo, making sure there's it's an open area for flow to go underneath of it.
Yes. Yeah, we've elevated it. If you look at our structural drawings, right now we're calling out for the top of our foundations to be almost 16 inches off of the grade. And then that's when the wood structure starts from there. So there will be space underneath the gazebo for water flow.
Jen, can we scroll up or down a little bit to see a little bit of the framing? Maybe. Is there a little bit more there that shows?
You keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a full,
Yeah,
if you
keep
go
going.
to like the last page, there is a full section. Yep,
There we
they
go.
are right there.
Great. So there's about 16 inches
Correct.
That's to the beam, and then it's even more to the bottom of the joist.
That's correct.
Okay.
And will there be any, do you need to have a step up to get into the gazebo?
There will be steps on one side. One thing that we have recommended to the town is that before in the old gazebo, there was a retrofitted handicap ramp. I think our recommendation has been that the town invest in kind of a temporary structure for the handicap ramp that could be removed if a large storm was coming in, instead of us making it permanent in nature and possibly it being damaged during a storm or have components of that turn into projectiles. Our recommendation was to make it more of a temporary structure that could be kind of brought out during the summer months, but then brought in during the winter that could be put in storage.
Hmm.
And we did take that recommendation too. That's our plan on the town side. It's also beneficial because over time we can invest in another handicap ramp as it deteriorates rather than, they're much cheaper than going and rebuilding an entire ramp.
Right. Robbie? Or Jen, do you want to comment first? Jen, do you have any other?
At the moment, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay. Robbie?
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for the presentation. I guess on the temporary ramp, I don't think you can take an accessible ramp and remove it for the winter unless you close the structure to all of the public, right? Because it has to be equal access.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the idea of taking it out of service when damage could be caused to it.
Understood.
Like Cam said, and we can attest to this, the cost of construction for a permanent handicap ramp can get very costly due to the extruded metal that's required for handrails and things of that nature. And in the exposure it's going to be in, with it being right on the coast and being exposed to salt water, the maintenance item on that it will have to be vigorous.
Can we go back to a floor plan? Sorry, Rob, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just wondering if we can see where there's existing stairs, or how do people step up to this now?
Currently, there's just 2 or 3 stairs that are on one side of it, and then the other sides have some rail. Well, it did have some rail, but then was also open towards the back. And we're proposing that as well, is that they would have stairs that would come in off of the parking lot area and then onto the boardwalk in the rear, and then we would have the code required railings on the other 4 sides.
But are we seeing those steps in any of these plans? I'm not even.
No, they're not part of the structural drawings, unfortunately.
Sorry, Robbie, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Personally, it might not be con's jurisdiction in terms of accessibility, but I think it's a missed opportunity to go to this effort to rebuild the structure and then have a temporary ramp adjacent to it. It just seems like the town should spend more money and do it right the first time. Another question I had was with the foundation system.
Mhm.
So looking at the larger, it looks like there's 2, 4, 6 larger foundations that are about 3 feet.
Yep,
Looks like it'll be a 2-pour foundation, right? Do the footing and then do I guess the stem.
correct.
So then they're 3 feet at the base, and you probably need a foot at least to get your formwork in there and excavate. So you've got a 5-foot excavation in 8 locations. Was a different foundation system considered, like a helical pile or something? Or
So my only concern, we definitely could go that route. My limitation is the size of the timbers that we need for the vertical pieces at those locations are such that it would be difficult to create the connection required between the helical and the post.
Mm-hmm.
We could go that route and what we would need to do is basically form and pour a concrete cap on the helical pile that would
Mm-hmm.
allow us to get the connection that we need between the main beam and whatever foundation it's sitting on. That is an option if that is something that the the committee would um, rather see. We could definitely go that route with regards to the foundation design.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's not ultimately up to me. I guess from my perspective, even the smaller foundations, they have a 2 foot
Yeah,
footing.
those ones definitely we could do because those are just gravity in nature. It's the
Uh-huh.
larger six that is what is counteracting the uplift from any, high winds. So those ones could definitely go to helicals and it wouldn't really be in effect and I wouldn't need a concrete cap on those, but I would need a concrete cap to make my necessary connection for the other six.
Okay. Um, that's all the questions that I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Um, Penny?
I had to undo myself. I really don't have any questions. I know it's long overdue getting this taken care of, and I'm very happy to see it moving forward. It's been in disrepair for so many years. Thank you, Cam.
Thank you. Brendan?
Yeah, I don't have any additional questions. Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have anybody in the audience for this one?
At the moment, I don't see any hands raised.
So, like Robbie, I mean, I think it's a great project. I'm glad to see this coming back. It's a nice spot. I understand the engineer's um, issue with you've got a whole open structure, so uplift and having enough substantial foundation. I'm not too concerned about having to excavate and pour those. I'm assuming that you've done a little bit of looking at the material that's there. I mean, most of Cole Parkway was filled years ago, so I'm assuming that you've done a little bit of checking on what you can do for a foundation there. And again, it's accessibility is not necessarily the conservation purview, but we did a project where we built a bridge and there was questions raised as to whether or not it was accessible. We had to show the town that we didn't have to comply with the accessibility because of the remote location of the bridge. But what I learned in that process was that if public funds are being expended, that they have to meet that requirement for accessibility. And I think that lands on the building department. So I really think that you should take a look at that accessibility aspect and not maybe just rely on it being a remote one, Cam. That
Yeah,
I
definitely noted. Just to clarify too, I know Mike had mentioned taking it down for the entire winter. That's not something that we would be interested in doing. It would be more so what I was more so interested in was like the big nor'easter that we get, or
Sure.
anything crazy where just to preserve some part of that would be nice. But it's definitely something that I take note of tonight, and I will reach out to the building department just to have a discussion about it.
Yeah.
I did have some preliminary conversations with Bob Vogel, but he was kind of in the mix of retiring and becoming, the I don't know what his official role is at the moment, but it wasn't the best time to have those conversations. So I definitely can revisit them.
Your biggest obstacle is going to be getting it paid for, because Nancy has a pretty strong opinion, and I believe she's correct, that again, if it's public funds, whether it's CPC or whatever, that's being expended, that it has to be an accessibility component. We had to do the same thing, the fire station down in Humrock.
Okay.
They had to add a set of a ramp in the back of that building. So I know that that's kicked up, and again, it's not necessarily our purview, but if there's work that goes on, that should be part of it. I'm really glad that you're moving this forward. Just maybe a piece you want to look at a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely will do. I'll definitely have those conversations, and if it becomes that we do put something in that's more permanent and that's going to impact the ground around it, I will be back with those plans as well.
Okay, Jen, what do you recommend that we do here? Do we want to continue this till we get a little bit more detail? I think it sounds like from comments from the commission, at least, that we could work with something here. Does anybody else, I should ask this, does anybody else want to add any more comment? Robbie or Penny or Brendan? We could at least give them a little direction that we're
I mean, I'm not a fan of the.
Pardon me?
I'm not on board with the foundation system as of right now. I think there's a lot of excavation associated with it. And if you look at the foundations, I mean, they're 6 feet apart. I mean, what's to keep the contractor from digging one big hole and installing these? It's
almost like they have to. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Do we want to continue this to another meeting, and maybe that gives us a chance to get more information?
How soon, Cam, were you thinking that you might be trying to move forward with this?
So right now, the direction I've got from the town is to go out to bid. So we're out to bid at the moment to get pricing back. We have the right to, deny any pricing or, kind of do what we want to do, but we want to see where it comes in. I think the town is very interested in doing construction sometime in November, maybe late October, just to be ready for next summer, so we don't have to spend a summer with a temporary bandstand again. Although I think the structure down there is done just fine. It wouldn't be great to do it a second summer. Now, I've been told that if the prices come in, higher than what has been budgeted, that the select board and the town administrator and myself, we would all have conversations about potentially other options, other designs. But that's something that we're going to cross the bridge as we go. So right now, I would say November is when we're trying to do the design that is here today. Say all pricing comes in within budget.
Do we did you guys look at the flood zone or whatever? Is this, Jen, is this in an AO? Is it a LIMWA? Do we know what zone this is in?
Yes. It's AE. I don't believe I need to find my plan. I'll look it up
Cam
a different way.
Was shared with Mike. Mike, I'm not sure if
Yeah,
you
if you
know.
zoom in here.
Mike, what did you have for a flood zone? Is that foundation compliant for that zone?
I believe so. We were supplied with an older,
Yeah, it's this one here, Mike. If you can see the screen, she's pulled it up.
let me see.
And this is basically the Cole Parkway, the big
Right.
project that's being worked on. This is the plan for that. So we
We
kind of worked off that.
shift back to the location of the. Hmm. So it's elevation. I think that's something you might want to make sure you address is the compliance of that in that zone.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right. It's not a home, but we do have issues with like spread footings and things like that. So be worth it to take a look.
I mean, if the board decided to continue it to the next meeting, I mean, we could, if the foundations are of a concern, we could run through an alternate design and provide both for the board to review. And then a decision could be made on which direction to go for the foundation system.
Okay. Well, I think we need to continue it. I'm not sure what date we continue it to, but I think it would be good to look at that as well as the accessibility and find out just what you need to do. And maybe even on that plan, show us what you're planning to do for steps and
Sure.
and the area right around it, if it's going to remain the brick pavers or whatever is happening there. We should have a little bit more of a little site plan in that regard.
Jen,
I think we can go to April 17th. August. Not April, sorry.
You
Yeah,
think you
August
can have enough,
17th.
can you get enough plans pulled together by then?
it's only a couple of weeks.
Do
I
you
mean,
think that-
foundation wise, I can provide that. The question would be for Cam is if we can have an updated site plan showing those other components.
So this is the only site plan I have at the moment. So I would have to, an updated one, I would have to ask around. Jen, I don't think we have anything past this.
Yeah, this is existing where the gazebo was.
Right.
So we're in what appears to be, I think it's AE 15, inside the limois. But we can ask. I think I just got an as-built plan for some other work in that area.
So my question that I would have for the board on that would be if AE obviously would allow us to do concrete foundations, but if the flood elevation is elevation 15 and the elevations based on that the current plan around the gazebo are somewhere around 8 feet, that means that our floor plane for the gazebo would be 5 feet above the grade.
So I think that's a conversation that you should have with the building department.
Yeah.
I know this isn't a residence, and we've had other issues where like garages, different structures have different requirements. So obviously it's not a home. We're not looking for the finished floor elevation to be higher than that, but and it's not in a V zone, but I'm just not sure like where your lowest structural member can be. And I do think that's a conversation you want to have with the building department and
Yep.
just take a look at that.
Yeah, we can do that.
I do know that there's exemptions and opportunities, garages obviously don't go up as high. We work with folks on a number of different issues and that gazebo could certainly fall within that. But I think it's something you want to have that kind of conversation with the building department. You have a new inspector, new commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that would probably be a good thing to kind of knock that around. I just wonder if the 17th is really a realistic date. It should be.
I think September would be okay too, Jen.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think November is really the time that I even think Nancy may have written it in the bid. I think it's like November when they're trying to do the work. So that still gives us a couple of months.
I think you need a little bit more time, and we're happy to, if you get some of these things pulled together, you're working with Paul, if he's helping you with some of that, but why don't we move it out a little bit and then see if you guys can pull those things together. That would be good.
So, Jen, what's September what?
It's Wednesday, September 9th.
I make a motion, we continue the gazebo down the harbor to Wednesday, September 9th.
That's a motion from Penny. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
From Brendan, all in favor, Robbie?
Yes.
And Frank, yes. But also just take note of Robbie's comments on the foundation as well. I think it'd be good to get all that information pulled together, please.
Definitely.
Thank you. Right. Thanks. 139 Turner Road on July 20th, 2026, 6 p.m. The Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, request a determination of applicability filed by Wilhelm Construction for the installment of new stair landings located at 139 Turner Road, Scituate. Of others and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posted on the website. We have somebody from Wilhelm Construction.
Yes, we have Jared Wilhelm, and I believe Steve Bjorklund is also helping to present.
Yeah, good evening, Frank. How are you?
Good evening.
Yeah, this is a situation where the Carreras are getting a little bit older, and they have a straight staircase going across the front of their property that has no landings, in a series of stairs. So what they're trying to do is to lengthen that and add a couple of landings, part way up, go up, 4 or 5 steps, have a small landing, go up another 4 or 5 steps. They had to elevate their house after some of the storms, so they were in the grant program, and the house is considerably higher than what was there prior to. Prior to, it was actually almost on the ground. So they're just, for safety reasons, for Mr. and Mrs. Carreri, would like to lengthen this out. And the proposal is to just use regular sonotubes, so not big feet, and actually hand dig the footings in as shown on the plan. So it's a reasonably simple project, just an RDA, and there's no vegetation that's being taken out or anything like that. It's right along the edge of the street in the front of the house, if you could see that on the plan. And that's basically it. And Jared could probably answer any questions as far as the structural part of it, but it's really just the digging, the hand digging of the footings. And any questions, we'll try and answer them.
Okay. Jen?
It is land subject to coastal storm flowage. We are in a coastal resource area, so we would just want to make sure the piles, the support for the deck are compliant. Yes, the house has been elevated, and they're not trying to park underneath the house,
No.
correct? They park next to the house. Okay. All right, there's no expansion of the deck. It's just to make the stairs less steep.
Okay. Not sure where I started with before. Penny?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. I mean, it's just extending the stairs. You're on the roadside. I don't see any issues whatsoever. Thank you.
Okay. Brendan?
I'm good with this. Thank you.
Okay. Robbie?
No issues.
And I think Steve brought this to my attention before, just trying to help make the house a little bit more accessible. I don't see any. Is there skirting or anything going around on this, Steve?
There's presently some skirting along the front of the house anyways, Frank. So it really doesn't change too much. right now they enter not at the left-hand corner of the house. It's actually in about maybe 6 feet or something like that. So the top of the stairs, as they're off the ground, when they're up to the deck level, it's going to be extended to the edge of the house. And that's pretty much about it. But there is some skirting there. There is spacing between the skirting as well.
Is there skirting around the existing house?
There's skirting only on the street side.
Yeah.
They actually put fiberglass piles in when they elevated the house.
Okay. So I guess the only thing for me would be, I know people like to make it look a little bit nicer, but ideally that would be kept up. I forget what we allowed. Just keeping stuff elevated. You're going to have the stairs basically going to go across the whole front of the house now. So maybe that skirting should be kept a little bit higher.
Well, I think the skirt, I mean, they'd probably like to use the same skirting that they have now.
Yeah.
Just so it would match anything.
Yeah, but if it could be kept up off the ground a couple of feet or something so that water can flow through and not get hung up in that or the, debris and stuff.
Yeah, again, I think there is spacing side to side on it. So it's a vertical lattice. It's not horizontal.
Yep. I see that. I'm just, again, saying maybe this distance from the ground to the bottom of the skirting might be held up a couple of feet or something so that, water can just flow.
On any of the new skirting?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. And what I'd like to try to do is if Jen could unmute Jared, he probably wants to speak for just a minute. He's actually going to do the construction himself. And he's actually contacting me on my phone, so I'm sure he'd like to say something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm asking him to unmute. He needs to unmute on his end.
Frank,
Yes, Penny.
I don't understand why any skirting would be allowed. It's already on the house. The stairs don't have skirting now. So why would we let skirting be on the stairs?
I'm asking the question. What do they
Okay.
propose to
Well,
skirt?
I don't agree with skirting at all.
Am I still unmuted? Okay. Yeah, we're looking at the picture of the front of the house right now. So what I'm saying is if there's any skirting on the front of the house, that's the only spot where there's skirting is along basically what you'd call the foundation, the pilings in the front of the house.
So there's no skirting proposed for the stairs?
So no, I don't believe so. We're looking at the picture right now. And I think it's going to be open there, but there is skirting behind it that's existing. That was my point.
Okay. All right.
So, and they'd like to keep the skirting that's existing.
Right. I get it.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody else? Penny?
I'm fine. I just didn't want more skirting.
Gotcha.
There. So,
No skirts.
Yeah.
Okay.
We make
Jen?
a motion here?
I don't know if you've heard everybody and any
Do we have anybody in the
others?
audience? I think we asked, but
I'm actually the abutter on the right-hand side of the property, and I have no problem with it.
I don't see any other hands raised.
okay. All right.
So I make a motion for a -3, Jen?
A negative. I think it's a -2, but
All right, I'll make a motion for a -2.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. So that was Penny with a motion. We have a second
I'll second that.
from Brendan. All in favor? Robbie
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Cool.
Thank you, guys. Sorry it
Thanks.
took so long.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you, Steve.
All right. We'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one. Hey, don't make everybody dig these things by hand. Just because you don't have to dig it doesn't mean.
Jared's my cousin, so I'm going to make him dig them by hand. How's that?
That's mean.
He's a big boy.
That's mean. All right.
All right. Take it easy.
See it. All right. What do we have left to do here?
I wanted to just make sure it was communicated that we need to change a meeting date. October 19th is now town meeting. So I was going to move our meeting to October 26th.
Okay.
And I do see Jared has his hand raised. If I think he had jumped out of the Zoom and then came back in. Maybe we can just let him know they've received their negative determination and the paperwork will be forthcoming probably this week from conservation.
Okay. Steve can tell him.
Okay.
Unless he wants to talk about hand digging versus a machine.
Okay.
We're good. Thank you.
Yeah, let's move it. I'm getting ill up here in my hothouse.
All right.
What's October 19th is now what?
Is October 19th is town meeting. So
Yeah.
we can't have our meeting. So I was proposing we move it to October 26th. I just wanted to make sure that was known and in the minutes.
Okay.
We don't need
Thank
any
you.
of this tonight.
Okay. If you guys want to talk about the certificate of compliance, I got to jump back out for a wicked quick call. But
I gotta jump out. I'm literally gonna get ill, Frank.
all right, go ahead, Penny.
So
You're
what?
all, you're else. Why don't we can close this? We're just
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
going to discuss the certificates of compliance and the open space. So
Yeah,
thank you,
'cause
Penny. Thanks
there's
for
no
bearing
more
with us.
vote.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jen, if you want to explain those.
Okay. So for the certificate of compliances, 79 Collier, there was 2 orders that were older. Both are appropriate to close out. There hasn't been any changes to the site since the last work. 126 Turner Road, we were waiting on mitigation, the growing seasons, and that has occurred. He's documented it and put an appropriate fence up to make sure that area stays vegetated. 6 Rebecca, we had recently heard an amendment for that one. So that one, they added some skirting actually. And 42 Captain Pierce, that was one where we had issued a partial. There was a change in ownership. He's now done the rest of the plantings that needed to go in, and we received a monitoring report. I'm not quite ready to issue that one. I think we need an updated as-built. The detached garage has been built since the partial was issued. So I just need a bit more paperwork as we always do for issuing a full certificate of compliance. The Scituate Brook study, you might have just gotten that email today. Frank can probably actually speak to it better, but the commission many years ago had wanted to look at studying the Scituate Brook, I guess kind of the whole watershed. And so we received 2 proposals for doing that work. If you have a chance to look through them, that would be wonderful to let me know any of your input on what you think is most important, what's a priority. And both groups are also willing to collaborate. So even if it was a little bit of working with one and a little bit of working with the other, Conway School can do certain things and Woods Hole can do certain things, but there's some options there. That's about the shortest I can summarize that.
Okay.
Sorry about jumping out on that, Jen. Did you send this went to all our members?
Yeah, just today. So I don't know if anybody's had a chance to really take a deep dive.
Well, thanks for getting those out. We've been talking about this for a bit. If you folks and the rest of the members can look them over, and then maybe we can come up with some sort of collaborating effort. My hope would be, I think maybe some of you don't remember, but we do have some funds, how much you already explained, from Toll Brothers project to get this started. And we're kind of looking for this as to be a springboard to doing more to improve the Scituate Brook. It's our town namesake, and It's not a huge watershed, but it goes from the harbor all the way up to the town highway department buildings. And we've seen different areas along the way that seem to be degraded. And we're hoping that this is a good start to improve that. So any thoughts or questions? We can take this up again. What we're hoping to do maybe is set up a workshop meeting early fall or late summer, that maybe this could be something, could be part of that meeting and discussion. We've had some constructive discussion like that before, so we're not tying up a regular meeting with that sort of thing, if that seems appropriate.
That makes sense to me.
Okay. Jen, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. And then just if anybody has any thought, this Saturday at noon, there's a celebration of life at the Mount Hope building for Howard Matthews. Howard was our trails person for years and person that helped develop so many of the hiking trails in various parts and kept all that going and expanded it. He's done a great job. And he passed away a while ago. They had a service at his church, but this is a celebration of life going to be at the Mount Hope building at noon on Saturday. And looking forward to maybe remember some of his contributions to all of our conservation properties.
There's someone with their hand up.
Oh, Chris Ford, did we give him a certificate of compliance, Jen?
He had requested one now that all of the plantings are in.
Did you discuss any of those certificates of compliance, or we?
I did. I'd said for this one, I've asked for an updated as-built since we did the partial, the detached garage has been built. So before I can issue a full CFC, I need a final as-built for the site.
Good. I mean, you could add them, put them on if you want.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Chris, I'm unmuting you.
All right. Thank you for unmuting me, Jen. So I've been here. I want to start out by saying it's the first time I've had a chance to, listen to an entire meeting, and I really I really admire you guys, all of you, and the detail you have to deal with and everything else. And I think it's wonderful that you're doing it online, so someone like myself, if we choose, can listen to the whole thing and see everything up front. But having said that, I've been waiting for quite a while to complete this transaction. I sold the property back in December, and I've worked with the present owner, and I have had John Zimmer go out twice and do the evaluation of the mitigation, and he said it was perfect. He said everything survived, and there should be absolutely no issue. And now I'm being told tonight that you want evidence of an as-built. I did go in to the building department and said, is there anything further I can provide to the Conservation Commission, on this project? And they printed out a document which said that everything has been signed. The new owner has built a new shed, and it was on the exact foundation that was prescribed in our plan as reviewed by conservation. And every element of it has been signed off. And I turned that over this past week, and I gave it to Josh at his desk, and he said he would put it on Jennifer's desk. And I thought if there was any question whatsoever, I would hear back. And there was no question. There was nothing saying I would need more. And so here tonight, I learn once again that, we need more. And I'm just kind of really disappointed that about this bit of communication. If you needed more, why didn't you tell me when I dropped off the building department document on Thursday? And I had told Jen I was celebrating my 85th birthday this weekend, and she said, "Oh, good. I hope it's a good birthday." But I'm trying to put this behind me. I'm trying to settle my estate with my children. And you may not think it's a big deal, but it is. This is an item where you're holding back $10,000, funds from me, and I'm just really surprised you're saying we're not going to do it now. You're going to have to do it again, and I hope I live till an August meeting. And but if you can rethink this and do something now, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
So Chris, Jen has the ability to issue these certificates of compliance once she feels everything's complete. And although I appreciate your maybe frustration or whatever with this dragging on, quite honestly, I think the commission's worked with you a lot on this project, and you've come in with multiple changes, and the commission's worked through this multiple times. This isn't something that was just one and done. You've changed this project a lot since it originally came forward, and the commission, including myself, have met with you, with your contractors, and trying to help you move forward. So I find it a little disturbing that you would call us out on that, to be quite honest with you. A little frustrated that would happen that way. And I don't think the commission's been difficult at all. I think, on the contrary, they've worked with you on that. And all we're trying to do is make sure that all the paperwork is in place. And if you can give Jen the paperwork that she needs to put that to bed, be glad to close this out. But I think the commission has been truly very, very cooperative with your project. And I think whatever Jen needs to wrap that up, if you can just work that out and get it done, would be great. And it doesn't have to come to another meeting. Once she has all that information, she can issue that certificate of compliance.
Well, that's good to hear. That's all I'm waiting to hear.
Okay.
Frank, I was not really stating a complaint with the commission. It was.
I understand it's frustrating.
Yeah.
To move that forward, but I think, in fairness, the number of changes and the things that you've asked for on this project, the commission's worked very reasonably on this to get it done. And we appreciate what you've done there. It's a nice looking project. At the end, it all came out well, but I think you would agree that there was an awful lot of back and forth and revisions along the way. And the commission worked with you and your contractors so you could keep that project moving through different times on it as well.
Well, if I can add one thing,
okay.
There's the as-built for closing out the order of conditions so we can issue this full certificate of compliance. The other piece is returning the surety that Chris provided when we requested the partial. And that's something we usually do when we're issuing the certificate of compliance.
So can that be done at the same time? I mean, is it?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to see him get his funds back.
It wasn't, it was a significant holdback. I was told it was going to be 5,000 or 2,500, and then it became 5, and then it became 10,000 without any discussion. And so you're sitting on $10,000. And so, it's at this point in my life, I'm, it's a lot of money. And at any rate, I thought I worked very hard to get everything done, and I delivered the final document, I thought, to the office on Thursday, several days ahead of the meeting. And so I thought if there was anything more, somebody would have called me. And so I'm just kind of frustrated that there was no communication saying you're going to need something else, because had I needed something else, I would have gotten
Again,
it.
we don't have to wait till the next meeting as long as Jen gets the pieces that she needs.
Okay, and if she can make clear exactly what that piece is, that's all really I was asking for. Well, what was the piece you needed? It was not clear. So, okay. Again, I didn't want to end my association with you guys on a negative note, and that's why we started with such a positive statement, because I really, you guys have a tough job and you
And
do it
again,
well.
we
Okay.
think that overall, I mean, it's a great looking property. You stored an older building, and we think, we appreciate all of that, Chris, as well. But I also think the commission there's been a lot of moving pieces on that site, and the commission's worked with a lot of that. Some of them that were after the fact or whatever, and we've tried to accommodate your project as well. So I think if we can just wrap up this little piece, it would be great for everybody.
Okay, good. I couldn't go to bed tonight without at least saying something. So I wanted to let you know. Okay, I've been
Thank you.
listening, and
Hopefully you'll tune in again.
All right, I will. Okay.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Yeah. Bye.
We all set for this evening?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close.
And a second.
Yes, I'll second it.
And I'm saying yes. Jen, you can vote too as a fourth person. So
Yes.
have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.